Hello, how's it going?
Hello?
We have. You have. You have her.
Oh, I do. We have Heather Heiby, known as sometimes Butch.
Oh my gosh.
That's maybe a long. Is that an old one?
That is so old.
So give us a because
I've
people
called
used
you
to
that so much that it's almost like in the back of my head. I always think of saying it first.
What? Where did this come from? Let us tell Mr. Story
When
about this.
I was younger, I literally butched my hair. Like, like how every little girl has the bangs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, butched them so they were, at my scalp.
Nice.
So one of my friend's dads gave me the nickname, and it just kind of stuck.
Butch.
Yes.
I mean,
and
that
it's,
went
the
for a long
worst
time.
possible nickname to have when you're a girl and you get older.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, it's the worst.
I mean, you had that for a lot of people called you that for a long time. Like a super long time.
Yeah.
So
I know. Now it's my brother and his friends always still call me it just because I was like their little sister growing up, so they still call me it. But
they're the only ones, really?
I'm trying to let it die.
Trying to let it die.
The nickname needs to die a little bit, for sure.
Oh, boy. I like it, though. Butch.
Oh, my gosh.
Butch. But, do your friends call you this anymore?
No.
No?
No, not really. They'll just do it, jokingly sometimes, but not really. Like I said, I'm trying to let that thing die.
Trying to let it die.
Yeah.
Well.
Not the best nickname, for sure.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself. What do you got going on? Anything, everything.
Just going to school.
Going to school? I bet you're doing a lot more than that.
Just going to school, trying to travel a lot.
Oh, yeah, really?
So that's fun. Went on several trips this year. And
Where'd you go?
Oh, where'd you go? Tell us about those.
what did I do? So in October, I went to Miami in the Bahamas, just on a weekend cruise with my sister and one of her friends. That was so fun. We definitely had the party cruise.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, everyone, we sat by this old couple every night at dinner, and they're just this is not the cruise for us. Everyone here was
fucked up. We should have went on this cruise.
Way too long.
Yes, everyone was straight there to party. There was 6 or 7 bachelorette parties.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Was it all inclusive?
All inclusive besides the drinks.
Oh,
Which I think that's how most cruises are, but that was my first cruise I've ever been on.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
that was
everything
really
else is all-inclusive. The food can get expensive, but drinks...
I think my dad absolutely hates... My dad, my mom worked a cruise for a month.
They worked it?
Yeah, they were the entertainers on the cruise.
Oh.
And my dad absolutely hates cruises now. He's like, I'm not... And he was... I think it was in it was Puerto Rico around there or somewhere around there. They also had or Aruba. They also had shows for 2 months at a time in Aruba.
Wow.
And they just absolutely could not stand Aruba after that.
Well,
really?
Which is this beautiful area.
Yeah.
But it's it was just the resort. They couldn't go past the resort. So it was just
yeah. You're just stuck in one spot,
Yeah.
which kind of makes it.
That's why we were talking to some of the workers on the cruise, and they said they're literally on the ship for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. They
Holy
said
shit.
they might get a day where they can get off the cruise ship, but they said they work so much that all you want to do on your day off is sleep. Because they put in 14-hour days
Do they
every
really?
day.
Do they get? Do they get
They
paid
probably
well?
get paid very
You think-
well.
Yeah,
Most
I'm
definitely.
assuming,
Yeah.
but I have no
How
idea.
much money they make off the cruises?
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
They probably make bank.
I mean, working 14 hours a day.
No,
for
I'm
6
saying the
months.
cruise country, the cruise
Oh, the
company.
cruise.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They have to make.
Everybody wants to go to a cruise.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It was gorgeous
Did
for
you
sure.
skeet shoot?
Awesome.
No. What even is that?
It's like you shoot clay birds off the back of the cruise ship.
Oh, that's badass.
No, we did not have anything like that.
What a great idea. You didn't do that?
I don't. They might not do that anymore. My dad would just tell me about that. I've never been on a cruise before.
Well, wait, why would
My
they
dad would
stop?
just-
That's
I mean, well, look at the world now.
yeah, never
Safety.
mind. Yeah. You're in the middle of
ocean
nowhere.
now.
Yeah.
I know, but
Oh,
like,
you're in international waters, so it's
Yeah.
like anything goes, really.
Basically.
yeah, but if you have little kids on there,
Well, I mean,
Not the
there's got to
same.
be probably like an age limit.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
everyone can go up there and just.
And it's not like they're just handing out shotguns. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, take the shotgun, go shoot some birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's. I doubt that part. But
Yeah.
where else did you? Where have you gone?
I actually just got back from California, like Christmas Eve.
Did
So went there for a couple
Where at?
days. We went to San Francisco and then Napa Valley.
Oh, Pine Valley.
Like, yeah, if you ever get the chance to go to Napa, like, it is so gorgeous. So, like, the food is amazing. I feel like all we did when we were there was eat the whole time.
Oh, of course.
But,
Yeah.
so me and my sister, like, we babysit in Columbus, and we got really close to, like, some of our families, and they're practically, like, family now. And one of the ladies that we babysit for, Lauren, her mom is actually a professional chef in Napa.
Oh,
No
no
shit.
shit.
Yeah, so have you ever heard of like Thomas Keller or the French Laundry?
No.
I think I have.
Yeah, so she like writes cookbooks for like all of these rich
Damn.
and famous people. Yeah. So I think like the French Laundry, it's amazing. It's in a little town called Yountville. And it's really small, but it's really, really beautiful. And they have actually like you get to see.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's so cool. And they actually have like their garden, like all of their produce, everything they use is grown in their garden. Like they don't get like
awesome.
besides like spices and stuff they might get shipped in.
Yeah.
It's an expensive place.
Yeah. It's a very expensive
Damn.
place.
Fine
But
dining.
so she like wrote all their cookbooks and
That's awesome.
yeah, and it was so funny because we stay at her house and everything and she's so welcoming. And we were talking to her like the day before we flew out, and she's like, I just don't know how much time I'll have to cook for you guys, blah, blah, blah. And we get there, and she has like this whole smorgasbord on her kitchen island for us. She's like, oh, I just made this up. I whipped this up real quick. So it's like the whole time I was there, she's like, oh, do you want this tea? Do you want this tea? And I'm like,
Nice.
you fed me 2 hours ago, Susie.
Oh,
I'm still
Their
so-
I
menu,
would
their
love to do
menu
that.
doesn't have prices.
That's when you know it's expensive.
That's when you don't worry about
yeah.
prices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a rich place, but
You said you babysit for them.
yeah, I babysit for Lauren.
So you're saying they probably leave some good food for you. when you
Oh, yeah.
babysit.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that would be the best.
That would be
people
sweet.
To babysit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's like
You're pretty much a nanny at that point.
oh yeah, like we're to the point now where like I said they're just like family. Like when I'm there, I'll be like, "Hey Lauren, I'm coming over," and she'll be like, "Okay," and like we'll literally just chill out on her couch. Like she has this massive couch, and like and she'll just make food, and I'm like, I'm in heaven.
Nice. That is awesome. How'd you get this gig?
Just mutual friends that we knew. So
Connections.
connections,
I
man, you
guess
gotta make
can
those
get-
connections.
Yeah. You can.
But when we were in Napa too, we went to several of the wineries, and that was gorgeous. We went to Silver Oaks, and it was cool because me and my sister, we are actually with one of the chefs that does events at Silver Oaks. So we literally walk in, and like one of the managers comes up to us, and he's like, "Oh, hey," like the guy that we were with was named George, and he's like just pours us all a glass of wine and just like hand us this bottle. And he's like, you can show them around anywhere. Like,
Oh
Nice.
shit.
Yes.
Wow.
Damn.
so we got to go see like every little part of the winery.
That would be sweet.
Oh, it was
You go
so
down
cool.
in the cellars and shit.
Yeah, we got to like go in the cellars, and so we got to go. So actually, before like the wine is put in the huge barrels, it's put in. It kind of looks like you're like fermenting beer, like the big cylinders.
Yeah.
So it's in there for so many hours or days
Yeah.
or whatever, and then it goes into the barrel for years. Yeah, and so like we're in these huge
There's probably
rooms.
those giant barrels, right?
Yeah,
The giant
like
ones.
giant barrels, and we're
Really?
in this room, and I mean, there's just hundreds and hundreds
Just
of
huge.
barrels. Like it was so beautiful.
How many years? Do you know? Did they tell you?
No, I think it's like on average for Silver Oaks, that winery, it's like 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years?
Yeah, it's in there, but
But they probably have their like 100-century-old caskets.
oh
and the
yeah.
Yeah.
like you have
5-century-old.
yeah, like you definitely like. I think the bottle he gave us was like $175 bottle of wine, and it was just
Yeah.
like
If
you
you're
didn't
not,
think
if you're
about
not,
it.
if you're not like a wine connoisseur,
Yeah.
then you don't really tell the difference at all.
You don't. But then now that I feel like I've been out there, like
Now you kind of have a palate for it.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like I come back here and I still like the wines, but it's like, oh, this just it's not Napa Valley
'Cause
wine.
Yeah,
you
man.
train your palate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I used to not like mushrooms. I used to start eating mushrooms. I'm like, oh, yeah, I like mushrooms now. I know. I mean, it's a little different, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then we also went to this another winery. It's called Progeny. It's like on this beautiful mountain hilltop, and it's appointments only. So it was just like us, me and my sister George, and then the lady who is there who like gives you all the wine and tells you all about them and stuff. And I mean, this whole place, like I said, it sits on top of the hill. We were there at sunset, and like it's just glass walls.
Wow.
Like
Sweet.
360 views, glass walls.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and then when we were there, actually, the owner, like he was just on the property. He came in and started talking to us, and so nice. Like he was the chillest dude. Like he started talking about like the 49ers. Like you know, you have
Football.
yeah,
It's universal.
Yeah, football, it is.
yeah, but it was cool. So we were there for a couple days and got back and.
That's
Just
badass.
living your
Oh
life.
yeah,
That
oh
is
yeah.
sweet.
I love going out there. That was my second time going out there, and
Well, the weather is so much better.
oh yeah, like the whole time we were out there, it was like low 60s and sunny.
Oh,
Wow.
man. Perfect weather.
Yeah, and then you come back to Ohio and it's shit
like-
weather.
Yeah.
90 degrees, and it's like maybe it's raining today.
Yeah.
Maybe it's snowing.
Yeah, well, because we came in on Christmas Eve, and that's when like it was super foggy,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
and it like never lifted the whole
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like driving back from Columbus in the morning because like we took the overnight flight, so it's like 7 in the morning, and I mean I just get stuck in this string of traffic.
Because I was about to say 7 a.m. is the rush hour in Columbus.
Yeah, like this string of traffic, like cars are going like 40 miles an hour. You can't see 10 yards ahead of you, and you're like, at this point, like you're stuck on an overnight flight, and there was so many freaking crying babies. There were
Wow, what?
so many babies on this
on the
flight.
plane?
Well, it was
Really?
New Year's Eve, so that kind of
Yeah.
What does that got to do with the price of eggs?
a lot of people are flying with their families.
Oh,
Yeah, and
That's
I mean,
true.
like you know, like
that is the absolute worst on a plane.
yeah, and you just
Crying
want to
babies.
like,
If your baby's gonna cry, don't bring your baby.
and there was one, and I mean, I swear it did not shut up the whole like 4-hour flight home.
Oh,
And imagine
boy.
being next to him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It
Heck,
was.
I wouldn't. I would go crazy. I would be in the bathroom the entire flight.
But so that's like that drive home sucked, but overall the trip was fun.
Yeah, and especially
Yeah,
at 7 a.m.
Fucking-
Columbus.
I'll take that drive home if I can go do that.
Yeah, for sure. But
Sweet. Well,
So you went to California. You went to the cruise.
went to the cruise. Where else did I go? Last May I went to Punta Cana. That
Was that little resort area in
Yeah.
Mexico?
yeah, like
I
it's
guess
literally like you don't leave the resort.
Yeah, I was gonna
'Cause you-
say
yeah.
because you'd probably die.
Well, it was too. It was like remember all of those like people were winding up dead
yeah.
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
resorts.
like, yeah.
Like those were all coming out like
No shit. that'd
like
be-
literally like the 2 weeks before we went
I know
there.
you're talking.
no shit. Yeah, yeah,
When I went to London,
Yeah.
the London bombings were happening. Like the London subways got bombed.
No
It
shit.
was like weeks before we were about to leave for London. We're like, oh shit! Like,
We're gonna
do
get
we
bombed.
do we
Do we
do we
go?
go?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were just like, we spent all the money on the ticket, so we might as well go.
Yeah.
but we ended up obviously. I'm not dead. So
Yeah.
we're fine. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like-
it was like this like however many people it was, like 3 or 4 people they were finding dead at these resorts in the Punta Cana, and it's like well, shit, do we go?
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's an odd feeling too, because it's like you don't. It's like I spent that money.
yeah, you
You
can't get like
put all
your
this
refund.
time in it,
And you
it's
have a
like-
chance of possibly not coming back.
It's
Yeah.
just like
Oh.
maybe I want to end it on that. I did it on a high note at least. You can end it on a high note.
Yeah, and in a beautiful place where I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, but that was gorgeous. We actually went to we did like a little excursion where we got off the resort and we went to it's called the Blue Hole.
The Blue Hole,
The
like
Blue-
a ship.
No, it's like a natural spring.
Oh,
Kind of like the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, but it's like in this like cave. And like it's in this cave and it's just like beautiful, beautiful water and you just like dive in.
the Blue Hole.
Yeah, it's like the Blue Hole. Like HOLE.
HOLE.
Yeah.
Blue hole. Oh, like hole. That's a hole. Is that it?
No.
That's Belize. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah, it's in like the Punta Cana. I think it was the Blue Hole or Punta Cana. There you go.
Oh no shit!
Oh,
Yeah, so
Sweet.
you gotta like dive in and it's
Wow,
Nice.
it's like crystal clear.
it's so crystal clear. But like the thing is like it's freezing
oh, it is because it's probably the ocean water.
and you're in
Huh.
like this cave.
Yeah.
So it doesn't see sunlight.
Yeah.
Like you're in the
Oh,
middle.
yeah,
You're in the
yeah,
middle
yeah.
of a forest, like in this cave, and you just jump in it, and it's so cold. But it's like
Is it hot out at least? Yeah. It
Oh
has to
yeah,
be. It's
because like
equator.
it's like a far walk from like the place where you get dropped off to like the path that you have to walk. It's like probably a mile. So like the whole time you're like sweating because it's 95 degrees outside.
Then you hop in
then
this
you hop in
60
there,
degree
you're like, "Oh,
water.
nice."
Yeah, and you jump in and you're like, oh my god, it's so cold, and it's like why was I just bitching?
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about it being cold, though. At least it was. At least it'll cool you down. But boy,
Yeah. That's probably why they do it.
that's odd.
Make
That's
you
probably
walk
an
for it.
odd feeling too, being it warm out, but
Oh,
there's
yeah.
cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Like that much water. Because like whenever you go back to the lake or whatever and it's 90 degrees out, it's warm.
Yeah.
So it's a little warmer, yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's like like I said, like you're dripping in sweat, and then you jump in, and like you're like automatically freezing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was so cool. That was cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
That's
sweet.
really cool. Well, the place looks
love to do that.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely gorgeous. But
How long,
It's like crystal clear water.
mm-hmm.
how long did you stay there?
I think we were there 5 days.
5 days?
Yep, we were in Punta Cana for 5 days.
Kind of, when you made it back?
We made it back alive. I'm
obviously.
sitting here today.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, we were just like, do not drink the liquor in your room. Do not touch the liquor in your room. Because I heard like that's what
They're drugging it.
like that's what like the rumor was
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
Like I don't even know what they ever found out about it, but that was the rumor. Because like in your room, it's like you get all these bottles and it's like they're already opened.
Oh, which is
But
kind
it's
of
like
a little weird.
Yeah, but it's like a nozzle. Like it's hooked in this.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, they're in the shot nozzles.
Yeah,
whatever.
so like
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a bar.
yeah, so it's exactly like a bar. So
But still, though, that'd be really weird. And it's probably completely different being a girl, too, because then it's like you're probably more targeted.
yeah, like
You would
susceptible
expect
to
so.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably would be.
Especially in like in a different country, too.
Different
where it's
country where,
that's
like,
where it's really gets really
Where
weird.
human trafficking probably
yeah. Oh, yeah,
rampant.
yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why, like my parents like are always like, because me and Hillary just go all the time. So like my parents are just like always like, be careful, be careful, be
Your
safe.
parents probably are
Well,
like
did-
scared
did-
24/7.
Did you know that Toledo's actually one of the biggest
Sex trafficking.
yeah,
Is
sex
it?
trafficking,
Really?
human
Yeah.
trafficking places in the world.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That's
Oh,
just
yeah.
Toledo. That's our backyard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 2 hours up north.
And think about like
that's-
how many like and you guys probably know like a bunch of people that go to Toledo. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of people go to Toledo. Emma was from Toledo.
oh really?
Yeah, originally. Yeah.
Okay. I did not know.
I wonder
like,
why it's Toledo.
Yeah. Like
You-
what
I
makes
don't
Toledo so like interesting or like
Yeah,
Why pick there?
what makes like a sex trafficker say, I want to
wanna go
go
to
traffic
Toledo."
traffic my prostitutes in Toledo, Ohio.
I don't know. Because I mean, the only thing is really just 75. There's no other
oh
really.
yeah.
The lakes, but you're not even that close to the lake.
No, you're
No.
not. I don't
I mean
know.
75 though, that's big.
Yeah.
Well, I would figure Salina because it's decently close to 75. It has 33 running through it. It has
You know what it might be?
127
Because
running
it's close
through
to Canada.
Oh. Yeah.
Easier. They can smuggle them up there and
Yeah,
gone.
like once you cross that border.
Like a midpoint
Yeah.
for people going from Mexico all the way up to Canada.
yeah.
Who knows? Or from Cuba or rather, like from the sea.
wherever they're coming. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that. Like that's probably honestly a really good reason.
Yeah.
Because it is close to the border.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting there.
You get
at
up
least.
there, it's 1,000 times harder for people to catch you and or to find you.
especially,
And,
especially how sparse the area is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole Midwest is like that. It's just so much agriculture.
Oh yeah, dude. I would love to go out to the Midwest.
We
Oh,
are
yeah.
in the Midwest.
Well, you know what I mean.
Farther
like
west.
farther west.
the
The
plains.
west.
The plains.
Yeah, the
past the plains.
It's so boring.
Oh,
You been out there?
Like,
man?
Kansas, Iowa.
Kansas,
fuck
Iowa,
that.
like,
It's
we
just
drove-
like, oh, look at this cornfield for
Yeah.
about 1,000 miles.
Yeah,
Like,
we drove to when Ohio State played Iowa a couple years ago.
Yeah.
At Iowa, we drove and you're literally on 80 the whole time and it's nothing.
It's
like,
just fields.
It's
Really?
the most boring drive
Until you hit the
Ever.
mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
And you
nothing
don't
else.
realize how big the mountains are.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't like nothing.
Just think of
right
like
here.
Colorado is in the mountains and then it all the way to California.
Oh yeah, it's huge, and all the way down to Arizona, and
The Rocky
Mexico.
Mountains.
we only see like just pictures of it, and it's just like a small, like just a mountain right here, and you don't actually see how.
you don't get a like full view, like
Yeah.
how little you actually are
Oh, fuck yeah.
compared to all of that. Yeah,
Damn,
but like
that
the Iowa, can't like that drive is so boring.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing out there.
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains are big as shit.
Yeah, those are big as shit. I would like to go up to Alaska one day.
Yeah,
I have relatives that live up there.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I think we discussed this on another podcast, but
Yeah, my uncle moved up there after the war, Vietnam War. Because that was like the place where it's like, fuck the government, fuck the state. Like Alaska, the final frontier.
yeah.
And so like they all moved up to Alaska. I have like I think I have 2 cousins that live up there now still.
Like what part of Alaska? Like where?
I think Anchorage?
Anchorage?
No, Fairbanks, by Fairbanks.
Oh, okay,
By Fairbanks,
gotcha.
if you know where that.
Yeah, yeah. I actually just read a book about this. Like it was really cool.
What,
So
about Alaska, or
it was like about this lady. She deals with like sociopaths and killers,
okay.
and she starts like not like an asylum, but like a penitentiary for like these killers, and she just studies them. Like she wants to know why they kill people, but it
Yeah.
like had to do all with Alaska, so it was kind of
Well,
cool.
Alaska, it's just like,
What is?
There's nothing there.
Oh, I
well,
guess
it's
that
just
makes-
wilderness.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. It's just wilderness. And it's like dark
Yeah.
half the year,
Yeah.
literally.
It is.
Yeah.
It'd be like, and then half the year it's like 4 a.m. You're playing basketball outside and it's completely bright.
Right outside. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, like
That's
my
funny.
cousin was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, dude, it's the weirdest thing is you get out of a bar and it's like 3 a.m. and it's completely sunny and completely bright out. He's like, it's really weird. It messes with you.
Oh,
oh yeah.
Because
Like
you
I feel like
stumble
you
out
would
of this
never know
bar,
what time of day
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When it's only dark for 2 hours at a time. You're
The other
like,
thing he told me about was that the first thing we were outside and we were out at my pond and we were just kind of looking out. It was kind of getting the sunrise and shit, sunset and shit. And he's like, dude, you can see so much horizon. And I was like, what? He's like, well, like in Alaska, when you look off in the distance, you can see the curve. Like there's not as much horizon. You know what I mean?
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
So like you can't see just completely straight off into the
Yeah.
distance. And I was just like, dude, that is weird because
That's
I never
that's
thought
trippy.
about that.
Like that's weird.
yeah, just because of
super
like
cool.
the Earth is like oblong, so
Mm-hmm.
meaning it's wider in the middle. It's more of an oval than a sphere,
Yeah.
and so you can see a lot like the actual curve of the Earth up north at the poles.
That's super sweet.
Dang.
See, Alaska, it's fucking awesome.
Well, plus it's just like all the wild animals and shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'd
And
be
it's
cool
so
to hunt
cold.
them.
Like who? Like I hate.
It's not that
No,
cold
it's-
most
but
of
I
the
hate
year.
like Ohio cold.
You
I
know,
could not deal with that.
I think it was Buffalo, New York got more snow than Anchorage, Alaska.
Did it really?
I think, because of the lake effect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think Alaska's bad. Well, once you get up north of the Yukon, is the Yukon,
Yeah.
where it's up real north, the Eskimos live.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's
Real
going to be
north.
cold. You're at the pole at that point.
We were actually, when we were in Punta Cana, we met this couple from Canada. And they're originally from Montreal, and then they just moved, I forget, it's some small town, but 12 hours north of Montreal.
Wow.
12 hours north.
12 hours.
And they were saying, so they went on this vacation because the wife, she was like, I just had to get out of the house because they have two little twin girls, 1-year-old girls.
Okay.
But they only see grass maybe 1 month a year. They start
Wow.
They start shoveling in end of August, September. And she said the only way you really know where people's houses are is because their driveways are shoveled. Because the snow is so piled high that it covers their house.
Those kids probably
Holy
grew up
shit.
and it's like, hey, all right, boy, you're 3 now. You got to learn how to walk.
You got
Trudge through the snow and get your food.
Start picking up that shovel.
they're picking up a shovel and here, go kill something, eat. You need food.
Well, that would suck.
That would be
Oh, yeah.
miserable. I would feel like it would be so depressing. Being stuck
yeah.
inside.
Well, at least
or
you would
not.
always have something to do. You'd always be out shoveling.
I guess so.
I mean, I don't know how exciting that is.
Well, I mean,
but
you kind of look at how much people mow their lawns around here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
People
that, but
mow lawns.
shoveling yourself off your truck. I guess that could be it.
Yeah, I was watching a thing on. I'm pretty sure it's cops and in Montana and stuff, and how the cities are the little towns are so secluded, and there's not much to do, so people just stay inside. That domestic violences happen far more greater there than anywhere else because they can't do anything and they're just inside
I
could
all
definitely.
the
It's like
fucking
cabin
time.
fever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's
Can I get out?
not many people can spend days on end together in the same area with
No.
another person.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is-
when
yeah.
you get to the point where you're like, oh my
Fuck
gosh,
this, I
get me
need-
away from
yeah.
you.
Yeah, dude, I could totally believe that.
Yeah.
Up there, and then they're separated by miles and miles
Oh
and
yeah,
miles.
yeah,
I think my closest neighbor is 400 yards away.
yeah. And
But there, it's they're 4,000 yards
yeah,
away.
and,
Yeah.
and they said most of the time when cops get the call, by the time they get there, everyone's settled down and they're just oh yeah, we had a fight. I'm
We
oh
fought it
okay,
out,
you
yep.
guys are okay, no injuries or anything. All right, I'm
think-
heading back.
I think Washington still does it where the police don't enter fights. They let them fight it out.
What?
Yeah, I think it's Washington is the last
Okay,
state that does
the
that.
state of Washington?
Yeah, so they let them duel it out.
No way.
That's the best one right there. I like them. Go. I guess that's the only thing Washington really does well. Just let them fight it out.
Just let him fight it
Yeah,
out.
let them fight it out. That's
To
hilarious.
what degree though? There has to be to a certain
Mutual combat law in
Oh,
Washington
shit.
lets two people have a consensual street fight if cops referee.
if cops
Okay.
referee.
So literally, the cops
So-
are there just so you don't kill the
Yeah,
other
you don't
person.
kill. The,
Fuck yeah! I'd say all the power
dude,
to you.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that's hilarious.
I think
That's
there was
great.
I think the last time I heard someone with settling a disagreement with, I think one guy tried to end a lawsuit. He tried to counter with a duel, and the judge wouldn't allow it.
Damn.
Oh my! I did not know that was a law. That surprises me. That's a law.
Oh, I don't know. I like that law though. I like that law. That's a great law.
Well, just think how
Street
rowdy
fight.
dudes
yeah.
get.
But that's the one thing that's different between guys and girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm
guys will
saying.
just fight it out and then they're fine.
Yeah.
That's
then
why
they're
they
fine.
should allow it.
Girls hold grudges.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, yes, they do.
I'm a girl and I know we're bitches.
Kansas man asks Iowa judge to allow sword duel with ex-wife
Sword duel.
because that was a trial by duel.
No shit.
Yeah, you could duel
See-
that was in the America. Who was it? Well, I think it was Thomas Jefferson got shot in one, but lived.
Dude, there's a lot of people. Andrew Jackson.
Jackson,
Andrew
Stonewall,
Jackson did.
Stonewall.
Okay.
No, Andrew Jackson.
Andrew, you're not
The
Stonewall.
president.
Andrew,
The
yeah,
president.
yeah.
Yeah. He lived the rest of his life with a bullet in his chest.
Yeah, they just settled it with. They were just like, all right, 10 paces, and whoever hits
hits first. Like, let's see what happens.
Like that was like, and if you and I heard it, like if you like interfere with that, like you could be almost you would die. Like they would kill you. Like you cannot interfere with any of those.
Wow.
Yeah, Washington's the last state to allow fights.
And that was recent. Like that guy just asked for that duel.
Did it say
that was the 15th of
that was a newer one.
Yeah, like that's real new.
Holy cow!
That's
like that was last week.
That was not the one I was thinking.
I was not thinking of that.
Yeah, like that was like last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can still do trial by combat in New York.
Trial by combat.
Yeah, because like in certain areas, trial by combat is completely legal still, but the judges don't give that. They don't allow it. Like it's still a law. Technically, you can settle.
But like the judge stops it before
they won't. They will just say like, no, you got to pay him this or something like that.
Damn.
Okay. Dang.
Well, without medieval, that'd be badass. If you, I would, dude. They could make so much money off that. Fuck taxes. Just have duels.
People would love to see that.
Look how much money. Look how big the Colosseum was. Look at the Colosseum. In Greece.
And a bunch of people went there. Loved it.
Yeah,
it was awesome, man.
It gives away. It's an outlet because I feel like that's probably why kids have ADHD or whatever. Is because they have all this pent up energy.
But they're told to like just control it all the time.
You have to be completely relaxed, 100%.
Yeah,
which is not. Kids shouldn't be relaxed.
No, they're little kids. Like they're squirrely. Like they want to move around. They don't want to just sit.
I was jumping around trees and shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And schools and we gotta do something about the society. But
we gotta do something.
Jacob gets a little deep right there.
We gotta do something about the society. I like this rule. This rule is a great rule. Combat rule is a great one. Dude. I'm for that. Raise my hand for that one.
I wish they would. I wish judges would allow it.
Yeah.
How much more entertaining would that be?
Oh, dude, they'd make a bunch of money.
Which would kind of,
and you have to. If one person loses and one person wins, that loser has to, okay, I lost, and that's it. I lose. Yeah. I'm done. There's nothing else. Nothing else. That's
but that's not the way it's going to be. People are always seeking revenge.
Here's the other thing,
they're always going to seek revenge. Like, he might have got me this time, but I'm going to get him next time.
Yeah,
fuck trial by combat. Why don't we do, like, just trial by duel? Like, I challenge you to chess if you beat me in a... Like, that's how it should be.
Like something like
challenge that. Challenge anyone to anything, and that's how you can settle a disagreement with legal status.
Yeah.
That'd be badass.
I think it'd be sweet. I'm good with that.
That's so funny.
I'm absolutely good with that. I think Heather would kick somebody's
by
ass.
By chess, really?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have to be chess. You could do a thumb war.
Thumb war. Oh, okay.
Dude,
just imagine how much less lawsuits there would be.
Like a giant fight in the middle of a court. Hey,
whoa,
you know what?
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
come on. Thumb warring the shit out of each other. The judge bangs on the gavel and he's just like, Order!
Calm down. Let them finish.
Yeah. Those dudes like in the back just starting thumb wars on their own. Oh, boy. Let's bring back duels. Just straight up duels.
Straight up duels.
I'm curious to how many girls would do that, though. That would be awesome.
I bet
30% of all the duels would be by women would also be dueling.
I feel like women would duel.
Yeah.
But
would you duel?
Would I duel?
Yeah. Would you duel?
I don't know. I feel like it'd have to be.
You could do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would. But it would be something like I knew that I was good at.
Oh,
or I knew that I would win.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but what if you couldn't choose it?
What if the judge?
But what if the judge chooses?
Yeah, what if the judge?
Like
shit. Let's just throw this down with dice. Like whoever rolls the highest die. That would suck.
That would be like the true fate is deciding.
Oh,
like if you just did dice, like
well, I don't necessarily think that it should be like on just luck. I think it should be just talent.
Yeah,
it should be like talent. Like you have
talent.
to
because I could be, or you could be really good at thumb wars, and I look how small my thumb is. Like I would suck.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something like I'm really good at, and you might not have any idea of about
just have
it.
to have the ability to disagree with it. Like say, no, I'm not good at sword fights, like thumb wars.
Yeah,
and
but then you
shit.
get into like this whole big process.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Then the judge
Yeah, it
is just
starts to
like,
get-
fuck it, duel with swords.
What do the judge
Winner
says?
takes all.
Fallback.
That's it.
Fallback is duel with swords.
Duel of swords.
can't
That's what
agree.
we need more people to do is just chill out with swords.
Just walk around with swords.
Yeah, gun will beat a sword any day though.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like wait.
people already walk around with guns on their
I
chest.
know, yeah. Well, there was like people in California during some of the protests that since most guns weren't allowed in a lot of the areas, they would just chill with swords. They just brought swords instead.
Really?
Nice. Good
Yeah,
for
because they
them.
can walk around. I think I read an article. This as crazy as it sounds. I think I read an article that said, "Man gets shot by homeless man on a pink bicycle with bow and arrow." In California.
Where at in California was this? No way.
I'm not lying.
Well, remember when they had like all those like high schools were doing like those school
Yeah.
walkouts?
Yep.
Yeah.
So like I was in San Francisco like when all this was going down, like that day that like all these high schools were walking
No
out.
shit.
Yeah, so like I'm like Fisherman's Wharf is like the area down by the bay, like very very popular.
Well, Fisherman's Wharf is you don't go towards too close to Fisherman's Wharf.
Well, no, they really built it up now.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, now it's like all restaurants and very touristy like now. But so like I'm like with my little babysitting boy was 7 at the time, right? So just me and this little 7-year-old in the city, and we walk out of this restaurant we were eating in, and we walk out, and I mean just thousands of high schoolers like stomping and protesting through these streets.
What were they protesting?
When it was like
was-
those walkouts.
The climate change
It was- no,
bullshit?
it was-
No.
No.
It was
The
the
gun control.
gun control thing.
It was
my
right
God.
after the shooting in
March
Florida.
for Our Lives. That thing.
Yeah.
March for Our Lives.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I have this little 7-year-old, and he's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "Do not let go of my hand."
Yeah.
There's like thousands of these high schoolers walking out
And
of
you don't
these
even
high
know if
schools
they're
in
all
San
high school
Francisco.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was crazy.
Dude, it happened here in Salina.
What?
Yeah. There's people who walked out of dude, the school was like, yeah, go ahead.
And what? The school allowed it?
Yep.
I feel like
They
they couldn't.
walked
They
out.
probably there was probably some legal status where they couldn't stop them.
No.
Well, I mean, you would think that they would stop it. How much of a parent the schools
oh
have
yeah,
become?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Sina did it.
What they walk out? What they walk out for? Gun
It was
control?
that
right
shooting
after
in-
the shooting in Florida.
Yeah, the Parkland shooting.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It was
Yeah, it
when
was
like
fucking
all
stupid.
the gun control,
Yeah,
like
this
those, yeah.
Dumb.
The thing to me is always I just always
Emotional
think
kids.
to the amount of people that actually die by guns.
Very few. Very
Like the main thing we should be bitching about is like, holy shit, so many people die from heart disease every year. Like it's like I'm pretty sure heart disease is the number one killer.
yeah. You know, we should be bitching. We should just start chopping off people's hands because those things kill more people than guns do. But yeah, oh well.
Death causes. CDC.
Death causes. So what? Like
Heart
what?
disease,
what
yeah, that is
disease.
number one.
Heart
Number
disease, yeah.
one.
Then-
Cancer is second.
Guns isn't even
Accidents-
on that.
Yeah,
Nope.
literally.
Fuck no, it ain't.
Dude, suicide though is 47.
That's
so
insane.
high.
So high.
Damn.
What is it?
I
What-
wonder. I bet that's just because of the internet. I bet suicides have been increasing so much because of the internet.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like bullying has become so easy.
Well, it's not,
not
just
even
that.
bullying,
It's
but
not
like-
even like.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say.
It's not
bullying.
even like a natural like all right, this sounds really odd, but like there's always going to be somewhat of a bullying in a natural environment.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's all every kid is just going to be survival, like whoever's
survival,
the biggest and
yeah.
strongest, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
But now it's like the bullying doesn't stop at the school. Now it's like, oh, I can't even go online now.
Oh
But I
yeah,
feel
that's
like-
what
but I
I'm
feel
saying.
like
That's
that
exactly
doesn't
what
happen very. I feel like that doesn't happen as often as we really think it does.
online.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
Just turn.
I think
Here's the other thing: is just
there's a
turn off your
button.
damn phone.
yeah, there's one
Yeah,
button.
just-
Just
yeah.
hit, oh, it's gone. Holy cow! No.
Or
But
block people.
But the difference,
or,
Yeah,
the
blocking
difference
people
is
now, yeah.
we at least grew up. Well, you guys definitely did.
Yeah.
Where you
What?
grew up you weren't surrounded by technology like most of our lives. we
No.
weren't.
No.
like cell phones started getting big. I feel like
I was like,
middle school.
well, for middle school for you guys,
yeah.
I was like
Late-
probably
late.
I was 6th grade. I bought my first cell phone in 6th grade.
Okay.
I remember the first cell phone came was like a little chocolate. It was like,
Yeah. The chocolate or like the razors.
yeah.
Dude,
The
I had a
razors.
Moto
Razors.
Q. My first phone was a
A
Moto.
Moto Q? I don't even know what that is.
Moto?
I remember that. There it is. The
Oh,
Moto
nice.
Q.
Okay. It
Nice.
kind of looks like a BlackBerry.
Everyone's just like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, man? You have a full keyboard. What the hell?
Yeah, it looks like a.
I bought it online for like $200. It was probably, dude, that was probably like in 2006. maybe.
Nice.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's probably in like
we never-
2006.
Yeah, the Motorola's, yeah. I don't really remember them until really middle school.
Yeah.
Anything
Same.
that's really kids.
I feel like most like 7th grade, you know,
Mine-
like you get in middle school and that's like
7th
kind of when you
grade, it
get the
makes
phone.
sense,
That's
yeah.
when you get the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but now it's like I was hearing the other day like at work someone's granddaughter had like she's 5 and just got the iPhone
Fuck
11.
that.
oh my.
I'm gonna tell
I'm like,
my kid
what?
asked me for a phone. I'm gonna tell my kid, yeah, you can go buy it yourself. That's what I had to do.
Yeah.
It
I was
just
like, she's
my parents
5
like,
years
shit.
old. Why does she need an iPhone 11?
No, she doesn't need that at all.
I remember I asked
like,
my dad.
iPhone at
I asked
all.
my dad. I was
No.
like, hey, can I get a cell phone? He's like, yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
I was just like, he's like, yeah, go for it. If you want to go get a cell phone, go for it. It's like, all right.
All right.
It's like,
That was it.
Can you give me some money, Dad?
I was like, all right, shit, I gotta buy it now. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but I like got on his plan and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But it's cheaper to be on a plan.
Well,
And
I
do it
know.
myself.
I got off. I was on my dad's plan. I think it was 6th grade year. I was on my dad's plan, and then 7th grade I got Virgin Mobile,
Okay.
and that was unlimited everything for like $30 a month. And I had my own plan and all that shit.
Dang.
Yeah, I remember that.
$30 a month. What was your first phone?
My first phone? My first phone was what's it called?
Envy.
The NV3. I had a blue one.
NV3.
Yeah, the NV3
Wow.
where like you could type on the front or like you flip it up.
Yeah.
I had the blue NV3. I remember
I-
I got it at Christmas and I was so pumped.
I had my
the
Moto.
coolest kid in school.
Yeah.
My Moto Q was my first phone, and then the next phone I got after it was the NV1.
The NV1.
NV1.
Was that one like
It
super
looks
thick?
like it looks like a giant pill.
Was it like orange? There was
Yep,
like
it was
orange options?
It was orange.
Okay, that's what I remember.
This bitch was
Yep,
Yeah,
there it is.
had this shitty ass like
Everybody had
screen.
Oh yeah.
Everybody had
Dude,
those.
but you could type I thought I could type so much faster on a keypad.
Then like now your
Yeah,
touchscreen?
now I can.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
on
Because you didn't have to finish most words. Like
no,
you,
yeah.
Yeah, you type in like 2 letters and then
And
like
then
the
it
word
was-
comes
yeah,
up.
yeah,
And you could
exactly.
just click space.
No,
Like, I would just be like,
hell, I don't even type anymore. I just swipe.
Oh,
I
you
just
do
start
the
swiping
swiping.
stuff. Yeah, I don't even type.
I do the voice stuff a little bit. I do
I've
that
never
more
done
than
that.
swiping.
I just like swiping.
I just do the voice dictate where it'll just type out what you
Type
say.
out what you say.
Yeah.
See, like I always use like I feel like I use my watch a lot, like because I.
You're Apple, aren't you?
I'm
Yeah.
Apple. Like
Are you? Stolly's not. You're not Apple.
I'm Samsung.
Yeah, that's what I'm Samsung too.
Yeah.
As much as I hate Google.
So I'm guessing you like Apple better than Samsung. Have you ever had a Samsung?
no, but I like Apple just because like all of my stuff's connected. Like I have
The
my
ecosystem.
MacBook,
It's a whole
phone.
ecosystem.
Yeah, like everything's connected.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Okay.
Which
So-
is
Yeah.
that's the only disadvantage. Well, and like iPhones, I have to give it to them. They have like a patented keyboard technology to where like your touched keypad, you can type a shit ton faster on an Apple,
Really?
on an
Okay.
iPhone, just because they've patented their keyboard, how their touch is.
No shit.
Something like how it's like heat and pressure triggered or something weird like
Okay.
that.
Gotcha.
Can
Yeah.
you tell the difference?
I mean, you probably haven't
I
heard
mean,
the other.
Yeah,
seen
I've
the
never
other
had
side,
anything
yeah.
other.
That's
like
true.
I had,
And
like
if you
I
have a
had my
MacBook and
NV3,
shit, yeah,
Definitely
and
type
then my
faster.
next phone was an iPhone.
Yeah.
So
Actually, my
weird.
first one was that red one right there.
NV2?
Yeah,
I had an NV2 too.
that was my first one.
Dude, I
It was
remember.
my sister's old one.
I remember everyone would be at like the football games. They're like, "Oh shit, yeah, look how loud my phone can
yeah,
get." Like,
and you had like your
oh,
specific
yeah.
ringtones, like
Oh, yeah.
the worst quality ringtones ever.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
like a Millie or some stupid shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Lil Wayne or something like that.
It was always like Lil Wayne, Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown is a big one.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. And you'd like have specific ones for specific friends.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, oh, I know who's calling me or something like that. Like, think you're hot shit.
That is
have
a
these.
Oh,
giant
dude, back then you
throwback.
were hot shit if you
Oh,
did that.
hell yeah.
You were definitely hot shit.
Yeah.
Well, dude, and that was the weird thing about it was phones were only calling and texting at that point. Literally, that's all you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you might have like one little game or something. Like some phones just came with
Yeah,
games
they came
built
with
in.
like Tetris or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
but
not
now it's
fun.
like you have endless and millions and
Oh,
millions
yeah.
of like options.
Like
Yeah.
you still technically had the internet on your phone, but it wasn't like no one used the internet yet. No,
'cause it was shit.
I remember using the internet on my phone, and it was the worst. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like that was before the internet was mobile friendly at all,
Yeah.
and so like you couldn't see anything.
And like that's when like desktops were still like
Yeah,
that was the form.
desktop,
Now laptops are so popular.
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
like-
And you just pick them up and bring them with you.
yeah.
the first phone I went on the internet with was the Palm Trio. This
I have
one.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Palm
touchscreen. You had a stylus and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I remember. 'Cause
It was
like
literally
the
an
little,
inch
yeah.
thick. It was an inch thick, and it had a giant ass antenna.
Yep. I remember seeing those now.
Do you guys remember the antennas you pulled out?
The giant, the
I've never
old,
had those.
old ones.
Yeah, I never had those.
I remember
Yep, I remember seeing those.
my dad
Yep.
in St. Mary's. Verizon didn't get good reception, and we had to go on the roof of this one building to get reception, and he would always have to pull his antenna all the way out.
It's like, what'd you say? Hold on.
I have his first cell phone. He kept it. I have his first cell phone he got, and it's from like '93. And it's literally a bag, like a foot long by like 6 inches wide, and it's
like
straight up
those huge-
straight up a telephone in a bag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or like the old telephones in the cars.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what are those?
Yeah, you like the telephones in the cars. Yeah, like it would be built into your car and like yeah.
Wow, nice description there.
I don't know. He's pulling it up. You'll see.
Telephone in the car. I had the.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Is that probably hooked up to your landline? Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
That was like that shit hooked
I
up
don't
to
know.
like pagers and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, I think pagers were like some of the dumbest inventions. I feel like they're pointless. They were pointless.
Well, just think about it. That the only way you could actually send texts over a long distance at that point was fax.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I
And
don't
a pager and a pager.
The
at
pager
least,
just told you when you were getting one.
well, yeah, and it also if it was a short enough message, it would show you the
Okay.
message. The message would come up and saying blah blah blah.
But
blah,
you
blah.
couldn't respond on them, right?
No.
Yeah.
But it was better than you having to go to a fax, printing out a fax.
Yeah.
You have the like in half the time. I mean,
But
faxes are pretty. A lot of businesses still use faxes.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah,
be
we-
surprised.
It's a reliable source.
Yeah.
It's a very reliable thing, or faxes. But
That's a pretty sweet.
They're pretty
I remember the stupid landlines, and you always had to like call people, and you're like, I hope this person doesn't pick it up. I hope this person. Oh, hi, hey, can I speak to my
yeah.
friend?
Or like you had to call like
That
the
was
landline
back-
and their mom would answer
Yeah.
or something.
That was back when you had to remember phone numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you knew all of your friends' numbers.
yep.
Like you knew when they would be home so that they could answer. And
Well, just think about this. Think about how, as people that grew up with no internet or whatever, they had to remember all of these phone numbers and everything else. And so their whole life they accumulated all of these phone numbers in their head and everything else. Now they don't have to remember shit. What are our brains gonna fill that information with? Because now we don't have to remember all that shit.
Yeah.
because it's just on all of
Yeah.
our devices.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
That is weird.
We don't because when's the last time you had to remember a phone number?
Probably middle school, like the end of
Yeah.
middle school. I
Yeah.
started to transition away from not having to use those anymore.
And I still remember all those phone numbers.
Oh yeah, like you still have like your friends
Yeah.
like landlines.
Yeah.
I still remember all of those.
Yep.
All
So
of
do I.
those.
100%.
And like I feel like those are just things like you're like it's always just gonna be there in the back of your mind. Like even
Yeah.
though they might not have that landline anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Like I know we don't have ours or like
I remember I still in my head, if I like in my head think about dialing my home phone, that I used to have. I still remember the dial tones.
Oh yeah, like in the rings and stuff.
Yeah. Like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah.
Well, I remember before that, because we had a rotary phone we used a lot too.
Okay.
And so like,
Oh, the little. Yeah.
I still have it upstairs actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You had to use that? I've never had to use that.
Oh yeah, I remember we had it. We also there was one here that they only had a rotary phone here.
Nice.
Really?
So that was like the first rotary phone I ever learned on, and that was like a new thing for sure.
Everything then.
I'm just like, or like we never had to do it, but like when phones were first a thing, like the party lines.
No, I had dial up until my sophomore year of high school.
Nah.
So like, if you were on the internet and you got on the phone when somebody was on the internet, all of a sudden you were like, right when you answer your phone, you hear
no shit.
dial-up noise.
Oh my.
And before that was the part, like you said, party lines.
Yeah.
My dad told me stories about like when he was a kid, they would pick up the phone, and it would be like the neighbor, like
and
a
you could
block
listen to their
down.
conversations.
And you would hear, he said you would always hear like, and that means somebody got on the line, and they would say like, Nancy, get off the fucking line.
yeah.
That would be weird.
That would be weird. Like I would hate for like people to have even the chance to listen to my conversations.
But it
What
forced
are
you
you
to talk
talking
with
about,
other people,
Heather?
though. It would force you to talk to people,
Yeah.
other people.
Oh,
That
Lord.
is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Social aspects.
People
That's
don't,
what-
people don't have that anymore. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the same thing that you said. Like people don't really have the social
You want to
aspect.
you want to take a break real fast?
Yeah, I think we're
Sure.
gonna take a quick break here.
Yes.
Yes, we are. We are back.
Yes.
You said you're going to school, right?
Yep.
Where are you going to school?
I'm just going out to Rice State. The
Rice State Lake?
Yeah.
What are you going for?
Education, middle childhood.
What made you do this?
I don't know. Middle childhood is like, I think it's interesting.
It's like
a lot of
like middle
people like diss it and they're like, you got to deal with like puberty and shit like that.
Smelly
But
kids.
Dude, I just couldn't deal with kids. I know how much of a shithead I was when I was a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like, oh, hell no. I
Yeah.
can't imagine running into a little Frank.
yeah.
That.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I could literally have like fourth graders or I could have like freshmen in high school.
Okay.
So
boy.
like, imagine how big of a swing that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
It's
ass
a huge
swing.
swing.
It's a huge thing. So, like, I've been in like fifth grade classrooms, eighth grade classrooms, and it's just like it's so weird how like rapidly they would like change and mature.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I remember 6th to 7th grade to 8th grade. Like how much I just changed myself.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grew so much.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to go to? Like what grades would you want
What
to?
grade? I would definitely want to do like the 7th, 8th grade.
7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th grade, I think.
So the
would
real
be
smelly part.
Yeah.
Real
The
puberty.
real smelly part.
Real puberty.
Oh, trust me, I've already had to deal with some things.
Have you really?
Oh yeah, just with my like being in classrooms and stuff.
Like
It's-
what?
I can't really talk
No,
about it,
No,
but
like, not the
but
kids,
like-
just like the names or
like
anything.
the
just
scenario.
Like the scenario.
So like I had this one 8th grader one time, and he asked me. He's like, "Hey, Miss Heiby, like, can you help me with my like computer? Because you know how like everyone has like their Chromebooks, their own little
yeah.
Chromebooks." And he's like, I'm just having trouble with that. I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Like, so he pulls it up, like he types in his password, and the first thing that pops up. We're on Google Images. Women in underwear.
Oh my god, that's women in underwear.
Women in underwear.
That's such a casual search.
That is a
too.
casual.
It's not like women nude.
Yeah.
Like naked
Yeah.
chicks. It's women in underwear.
Specific.
Women in underwear.
Specific.
Oh
He
my
was
God.
like, I don't know if I could. I'll probably get caught if I go naked. So let me just cover myself.
Underwear.
Yeah.
Underwear.
But you know, like I was just trying not to laugh, and like
Yeah.
his face was instantly like tomato red, like oh my god, and
Sure winked at him.
Oh,
no,
You would have made his week.
dude.
No.
You would have
yes,
made his
you
year
would-
probably.
oh my,
You made his
goodness.
life.
No, but he was like totally red, and
You
I'm
would have
just
thrown
like,
that in the
and
spank
I'm just
bank
like-
memory for life.
I'm trying not to fucking die laughing. Like you guys would obviously
Yeah.
die laughing. And then he tried to blame it on his mom.
Oh my god.
His mom was shopping.
What?
His mom was shopping, and I'm
That's a
thinking,
good
For an 8th grader?
For an 8th grader.
Smooth,
yeah,
man.
but like I'm thinking in my head, yeah, because when women shop, they just type in women in underwear, Google images, like,
Oh yeah, let me just casually.
oh yeah,
I mean, that's a quality excuse.
It
for
is a quality.
At least
yeah.
you try to get out of the situation.
oh yeah, and I was like, just click out
You
of
gotta
this,
own
like,
it. You gotta
close
own it at that point.
own up to it. But yeah, that was funny. I had an 8th grader ask me out on a date once.
No shit.
Say yes.
No, I did not say yes.
Why not?
What,
You just
was he a
broke his heart.
good-looking kid?
Was he a good-looking kid?
That's kind of
She-
odd.
Yeah, that's like a
That's a
weird
little odd.
question to
That's
answer.
don't
like,
answer that.
Yeah, I
My
wouldn't
bad.
That's
answer
total
that.
My
pervert.
bad. My
yeah.
bad. Don't do that.
Don't answer that.
Fuck it. Oh well.
You're good.
Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah, but
But what'd you say? Did you say yes?
I said no. I was like, this is
I guess it's a
totally
better question than me,
inappropriate.
but, yeah.
Totally inappropriate.
Well,
yeah, I was
good
joking.
for that kid has some kahunas to go up and ask the teacher on a date.
Yeah.
Man, that's funny.
Or you might just have been too nice to him.
Yeah, you
I
might have.
guess so. I don't know.
Oh my God, you let him on. You let him on.
Dirty.
Shut up.
That's dirty.
Whatever.
What
Is that the only stories
subject?
you have?
Yeah, I guarantee you have some more.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I had to break up a fight once already.
Nice.
With, middle schoolers?
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know, you're both bigger than me. So like I like called for like my teacher and he like came like storming out and got him, but
That'd be odd.
But you didn't go in there and wrestle him down.
no.
You
No.
should have just clean clocked him.
Yeah, dude.
Ended him right there and just said, nope, not in my house.
Not
No,
today.
Not
Yeah.
today. No.
Not today.
Not today.
Nice.
Yeah, no, but I'm excited. It'll be fun. I'm doing
Yeah.
math and social studies are my
Math,
two
social studies.
subjects, so it'll
Really?
be fun.
Which one do you prefer? Like
Which one do I prefer? I don't really know. Like I like if I do 7th and 8th grade, like I like that because it's like algebra.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they're learning. So I really like that. So I would want to do math, but like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I heard
Either one,
something-
really.
Yeah. I heard something where they're teaching math differently now. Is this true?
Isn't that
Yeah.
Common Core?
Yeah.
Common Core bullshit?
Yeah. the Fucking stupid
There's
stuff.
so like it's there's-
Stupid.
Yeah.
It's
really stupid.
Well, it's just like there's some ways like they just want kids to understand like why they're answering the way that they are. Whereas like we were just like rapidly firing out like, oh, this is the formula, this is what we do.
Well,
The
we
Common
were-
Core
we
is they
were-
want the kids to understand like the whole
Which I
background
think
of
that's-
why they do this.
I think that's stupid. Teach you the problem, not the tools.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
know.
like, it doesn't matter how you come to a solution. Like,
Yeah,
there's never one
there's-
set solution.
Yeah, there's definitely multiples.
Mul-
5
Multiple
plus
ways to
5
find-
equals 10, but also 4 plus 6 equals 10. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like remember how we used to always have to do like the
Oh, yeah. I
times
remember.
tables?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
Those
like
are fun as shit.
like it was like a race who could get them
Yeah.
done
and
like,
everyone
Yeah.
learned them really well,
yeah,
too.
they don't do any of that anymore.
That's so stupid.
Really? What do
Yeah.
they do? Like,
Competition is what makes, like, us human.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
I,
You
like,
don't have any
wanted, I would be like,
competition.
oh, fuck no, you're not beating me in 2 times tables. Like,
Yeah.
bullshit.
Well, they used. Remember they used to like around the room.
Around
One
the
person-
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
And it was like
Pissed
if you
me
get
off.
it right,
Yeah.
like you
and who
won.
could go the
And
farthest?
it worked.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
competition works. Like,
Yeah.
when you take out the competition, now it's just like, well, now they don't even want to learn it at all. So we gotta force them to, like, here's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely some
Just
like
let
even
teachers
being,
be teachers.
But even
That's
in
the
like
thing to me.
college or whatever, when like some of these classes, like they're showing us like how to show kids how to do this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they're showing like us ways that it's all new to
Yeah.
me too, and I'm like,
Really.
oh my gosh, like I never even thought about it this
Well,
way.
think back before you had to, like, if you became a teacher, you just taught what you wanted to teach in that subject.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
imagine if you were a history teacher and you were just like, why? I know a lot about the Civil War, so I'm mostly just going to teach
I'm gonna
about the Civil
hammer
War.
the Civil War into
But now
these
it's
kids'
like
mind.
you have to teach them this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, that's why I always enjoyed the older teachers because they were the ones that literally were just
They sounded
they
told
went on.
stories.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
told stories and you sit there and you're like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And definitely the teachers that are more like they make things relatable to the kids, or pick stuff based on their interests, not just like, oh, we're doing this because this is what I like. I don't care what you think.
Well, it's not even that. It's like now it's
what the government wants.
If the kid doesn't even like it either, he doesn't have to do it. Now that it's just like, oh well, we'll just give him the pass right there. Like it's too lenient.
Yeah, because there's no kid left behind. That's the stupid part. Like,
dude, that really messed up the
really
education system.
It's just I personally just don't like all the testing.
Well, I think it's stupid because I think
there's
it's
so
like
many.
You wouldn't teach a fish how to climb a tree. That's right. It's school only teaches. Only a few will actually succeed in school. Like some people are just they're really good at memorizing shit they read or something.
And some things just come naturally to students.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
there's
point.
There's some people that never have to pick up a book and they see it one time and they're like, oh yeah, I got that. And then there's other kids that like study.
Yeah,
and they still struggle.
I glided through high school. Like I literally would never even do my homework at home. I would literally just do it the class of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I cheated my way through all my homework and stuff. I never.
But how? And it's like it's not. I'm not necessarily saying it's bad to cheat, or it's not saying good. It's good to cheat,
not. Yeah.
But it's like to be at the point where you were like, well, I'm not interested in anything I'm doing. And now I have to cheat to even pass it. Like, that's kind of shitty itself.
It's kind of shitty, yeah.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it goes on the teachers. Like, if you're a good teacher, you're going to get your kids engaged. You're going to get your kids. But if you're just not a good teacher,
but there's only to a point. Because, like, certain kids, they do not want, they just don't care.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
No. There is certain kids like you that just don't care. But it's like you have to try to find those ways to get them to,
Which is shitty, because it's like, you want to,
interest.
they're way down the rest of the pack a large amount. Because you might have a few kids that, like, you might have one kid that's like, he could go to NASA and work tomorrow. But no, you can't tell that kid, like, hey, you're going to start doing this stuff, and it's a lot harder than the other students are doing.
Yeah, it's basically...
But, now you can't do that. Now you have to do exactly what the other kids are doing.
The no kid left behind is actually making kids go farther behind than all the other kids.
Yeah, but, like, the no kid left behind, like, they're kind of, like, slowly, like, getting away from that because they are starting to realize
they're forcing themselves to with testing. It's but the problem that testing brings out is that you're standardizing everything at that point. Like, this is what you have, this is the only things you really need to learn, so this is the only things you're going to be taught to learn.
Yeah.
While that, like, is a disadvantage because you don't have all of these other areas of history or whatever that you know of. Like, imagine if you were only taught about the Holocaust when there's 10 other genocides during that same century.
Oh, yeah. We don't even learn about most of those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that changes.
Yeah.
Do they, like, when they're teaching you to teach kids, like, is there anything that you thought was, like, completely stupid or anything that
Do you think it was backwards?
Yeah, it was backwards.
Not necessarily backwards, just longer. Like,
Longer?
ways to get the right answer than like the shorter way, like that I knew, like, you know how you learn how to do it, and then but now, like I said, they want the kids to understand why they're doing what they're doing, so they want the background, so it's like it adds like 3 or 4 steps to the problem.
Well, like, that's interesting because I failed my first time I took calculus in college.
Okay.
Because I used shit that literally, this is what the professor told me. I used things that we were not supposed to know yet.
That's why you failed.
I failed because I failed 2 exams because I used things that we didn't learn yet. And that was not how we were supposed to do that. And that to me is just like, I got the problem right, but it wasn't the way you wanted it. So now I'm wrong, just even though I was right, I'm wrong.
Because I didn't do it your way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like I failed my calculus because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they have any classes on, like, how to kind of deal with kids?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of like right now I'm in like a classroom management class, and like that's basically
classroom management.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because okay, think about it. Think about if you do not know how to, like,
your desk go over there, and then your desk
No. It's like, think about, like, if if your kids come into your classroom the first day and they are just rowdy and all you're doing is shouting at them, that's how it's going to be every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of set like a procedure like so that
Dude, they need to bring back discipline. When I went to a private school when I was really little in Nashville, and I remember I did something wrong and I got hit. The principal had this big ass paddle behind his chair, and like whenever you'd go to his office, right behind his chair, above his head, there would be this big ass wooden paddle with holes in it, so you could get the speed too. This shit, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
and I remember I fucked up one time, and that he hit me with that once. I wasn't fucking up again. Like I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want to get hit again because that bitch left marks. Like I was like, no. But like, it's a different world. It's a different world.
I feel like they're trying to teach you how to become the parent.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and the thing is like, as teachers, like we're kind of like trained to know how to deal with kids' different circumstances. Mm-hmm. Parents, there's no like training. Like you gotta kind of like you can read all the books you want, but it's still figuring out what works.
That's the point of parenting, though.
Yeah,
you gotta learn.
The problem I have with most of the parents right now, it's single parents.
Oh yeah,
single, and they want to become their friends. They don't want to.
They don't want to discipline or tell them
because they don't have both sides of the sword, both sides of the coin.
And I think that would be one of like the biggest difficulties with being a teacher is because before, like I know from if my teacher would have told my parents like, oh, Heather did this, my parents are gonna believe the teacher, not me. Mm-hmm. Now what they're seeing is the parents are believing the kid's side and not the teacher's side. Mm-hmm. So I could be like, Jacob was acting out in class today. He did this. And Jacob could be like, well, no, I didn't. And the parents are believing the kid and not the teacher.
That's kind of fucked.
That is
so like fucked. That's a big problem. And I think that will be like extremely difficult to kind of deal with, especially during like conferences and stuff like that.
I was being a dick to the teacher one time in elementary school, and I came home and that teacher, they called my dad about it, and I heard it. And I was just like, well, like he paddled me, and I was just like, fuck.
Like you're not going to do it again.
Yeah, and because he knew it was like the teacher was completely right. That's weird.
Yeah, that's what a lot of like is the parents are believing the kids and not the teachers.
That's weird.
So I think that would be
because it's a kid. I know how much I lied as a kid. Every kid lies.
Oh, yeah.
It's a point
every kid.
Because you don't want to get in trouble. You're like, oh,
and you're a kid.
I don't want to get TV taken away. I don't want to.
That's the thing. It's like you don't know enough about life to realize the consequences of. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like, what's the parent teaching the kid by doing that?
Yeah, that is true.
Like, you can't just keep getting away with stuff.
No, that's what I'm saying is like, but to believe the kid.
Yeah.
That's like kind of a fault of the parenthood now.
Well, dude, I mean, as a cop, when I was a cop, we had so many calls of a kid misbehaving and the parents could not take care of him. So we had to go there and be the parent. Fuck yeah. We go to houses and we were the parents to the kids.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because I was a hellion as a kid, but like I knew my limits.
Yeah.
Like if I overstepped my boundaries and started being an asswipe, like I knew I was gonna hell to pay.
Yeah.
Like,
but your parents make that known. Like you don't do that stuff.
I feel like that's healthy. That's not. It might be like in the time it might seem not healthy. But in the long run, it's completely healthy.
Yeah.
Like paddling your kids. Mm-hmm. Like I'll paddle my kids for sure.
I think
because I know how much I that actually meant to me. Because I'm like, shit, if I got my ass kicked by a fucking paddle, I wasn't gonna do it again.
And then too, like if your dad like starts like yelling at you're thinking,
well, that's the
crap!
Problem,
like
is there so many single parent?
Get my crap together.
Oh yeah.
There's so many single parent homes is a problem.
I was driving, and I saw a sign, and it had a railroad and a stop, like a railroad sign on it.
One third of children are in single parent households.
Jeez and fuck.
But what you're saying?
But I saw the sign. It had the railroad and like a railroad crossing thing, and it says, "Is this enough?" like a question mark. Like this
yeah.
thing.
I saw. Is that
And-
the one on like 703?
Yeah.
Okay.
All I'm saying, I'm driving. I'm thinking about it. Like, isn't
wait.
isn't it enough
Why
to
isn't
see
it-
like a rail? Like, oh crap, there might be a train. I don't want to get hit. I want to stop and look both ways. And that's it. Like, it's a fucking railroad track. Don't get hit by a train. Look both ways.
Well-
They're saying, is that sign enough to
It's like promoting for like all railroad crossings to have like the guard. Like
Well,
Yeah.
the problem with that is the lawsuit, the legal happy world we live in has created that. Because it's like,
I know,
exactly.
and it started in the 90s. That whole McDonald's lawsuit with the hot coffee in the early 90s, that just kick-started it all.
we went through McDonald's the other day and like you get like a caramel sundae or a hot fudge sundae and like you always got the choose if you wanted the bag of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that anymore.
Because
Really?
peanut allergies, probably.
Yeah, someone
you can still-
probably gave
Which-
their kids
and
the
here's
peanuts
the-
and they had a
here's-
peanut allergy.
Jesus
Here's
fuck.
the thing about it is like the amount of kids that are probably allergic to peanut, like, you could probably check too.
There's actually a lot more people now. A lot more
but there's,
kids.
and I almost guarantee you most of the time it's because they were never exposed to it as a kid.
Oh,
because most
yeah.
allergies are because of you were not exposed to it as a
kid,
child.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's literally how allergies happen. So I don't know how people.
Yeah, but I heard something from not Steve. Who did a dirty jobs? What's his name?
Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
He said that today, people expect people to look out for them and to like keep them safe, not like so like
Not look out for
That's what I'm
themselves.
saying.
Exactly.
It's
Like,
that
say-
we're
say-
becoming
say
a
you're-
parent,
yeah,
a
say-
nanny state.
Yeah, say you're
That's a
walking
nanny
across.
state.
Say you're walking across the road. You expect everyone to stop. Not I'm gonna look both ways and make sure no one's coming and then walk. Like it
Hey, in 2008, 1.4% of kids had peanut allergies. 1.4%.
damn.
So we are gonna change all of society just to cater to this 1 point. See, that's the problem.
But look how much it tripled since 1997.
Probably because kids weren't exposed
In
to it.
11 years, it tripled.
That
Yeah.
what is the first correlation you think? Because there has to be causation with correlation. That's how statistics works. But aside from that, in that short of time, you would expect there would have to be something simple causing it. Which to me would be parenting. Something's causing it
Yeah.
from the parenting. Obviously, like if
Yeah.
if it happened in 10 years, it went up 1% of the whole population.
It's a lot.
Like there
10
has to be
years.
something happened that
Yeah.
caused it to do that.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, allergies are just literally an adaptation to your environment.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Crazy.
Like
world.
I always think of like people who are allergic to grass. And it's like, dude, no, everyone's fucking allergic to grass because it cut you.
I think that would be like,
well, yeah, you
the
roll around.
worst
It's-
allergy to possibly
well,
have.
and that's
I know,
why I
I know
think to
a kid who's
myself.
allergic to grass.
But like if
Yeah.
you roll around in grass, you get kind of cuts, right? Little micro
You
cuts.
start getting a little itchy.
That's what they say is their grass allergy.
Just that.
And
Like,
so you believe that a little bit, and then it turns into you're getting a rash now when
Yeah.
because you're telling yourself like, oh,
Oh,
shit,
I'm
like,
allergic to it.
I'm
Yeah.
allergic to this, so I can't. I can't. That's the problem is because I mean I think
Yeah,
we
but
just
it's
became
just,
soft.
like-
it's just like if you
Yeah.
tell yourself you're gonna this event will happen because of this cause. Yeah, your event will probably happen because you're
Yeah.
just pushing yourself to believe that.
well, and that's too, like little kids, if they're out running in the grass, or just like even adults, you're out running in the grass, you're going to get a little itchy. It's just the way that it is.
Well, and the other
Yeah.
thing is there's certain allergies that are pretty like there's like you can have genetic allergies. Like I'm allergic to amoxicillin,
Okay.
which is any penicillin I'm allergic to. Which that I never was exposed to it before. So maybe that's caused the allergen from it, but like most likely genetically I was down the line someone in my bloodline had a lot of penicillin or some type, and their body caused a reaction from it. It was passed down.
Interesting.
Okay.
But it also can be from, it was
you
just
have
like,
any allergies,
I never
Heather?
was exposed to it.
I am allergy free.
Good for you. I mean, I'm just, and you don't ever need penicillin to be honest very often.
Yeah. Probably
Like the only times you're going
Do
to
you have
need,
any allergies, Jake?
I used to be allergic to apples.
Apples, really?
Yeah, like my
Apples.
mouth would swell up.
Okay.
It's
You
weird.
grew out of it.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
apples now. I
A
love
lot of
fucking
kids do
apples.
grow out of allergies, though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of allergies you have when you're a little kid, like you do grow out of as you get older.
My dad's allergic to shrimp, and he eats shrimp. Like he doesn't give a shit. He's allergic to it. Like he'll eat
Does his
shrimp.
throat get like scratchy?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He can
Well, that's a
suffocate,
savage.
but he's just like
he likes it.
he tells himself like, yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Like I might have a little reaction to it, but yeah, right when you tell yourself like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break out in hives and then my throat will close up. Yeah, it probably will happen. Just think like you are in control of your body,
you
and
are,
if you
yeah.
tell yourself like, yeah, that might happen,
Yeah.
it probably will. Just think like you are controlling yourself.
Oh, fuck yeah, you are.
It's not just your body's not working on its own, and you are telling your body what to do. So if you tell your body you're lactose intolerant or whatever,
You're lactose intolerant.
you probably will become lactose intolerant.
Here's a random
Yeah.
thing. Would you ever get a tattoo?
Would I ever get a tattoo?
Yeah.
That's a
That is random.
It is random. I just
No, it's a good
thought of
question,
it.
though.
Yeah. Would you ever get a tattoo?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't think I would.
You don't think you would?
No. If I did, it would be like something really small and it'd have to have like a super large meaning behind it.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you against?
Oh, I'm not against tattoos at all. Like, if you want a tattoo, go get a tattoo.
Yeah, go
like,
for it.
I don't like that's your body. You do what you want. Like, that's just my body. I don't think I would
Oh, yeah.
get one. Do you have a tattoo?
I do. I have two actually.
Really,
Yes.
Frank?
No, I have
Frank
no
doesn't have
tattoos.
No tattoos.
No.
Would you ever get a tattoo?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, I just like tattoos. They're
Yeah,
fun.
I mean,
To
no.
each their own.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. If you want a tattoo,
Yeah, if you
go
wanna
for
get a
it.
tattoo, yeah. That's just not my forte.
But that's how. Yeah, that's how I
So
am.
if you had to get a tattoo right now, what would you get? Do I have a top of the head? Because I know everyone's kind of thought about. Yeah, maybe
I
I'll
would
do
get
this.
a Pinocchio right on my crotch and let my dick be in the nose.
Nice.
Oh,
And so
my
whenever
Nice.
then
That'd
it'd
be
be like,
pretty
oh, I'm
sweet.
telling lies.
Yeah.
If I had to get a tattoo right now, so like Mackenzie Mormon and Jenna Berry, like they're best friends. They're my best friends. We have always talked about like us three getting matching tattoos.
It's symbolic.
Yeah.
That's
Like
symbolic.
a symbolic,
meaning.
yeah. So we talked about, we always had, like we were talking about the phones earlier, like you know how you had to call the landlines and be like, well, we always had a spot because our houses were always close. We'd ride our bikes, and it was like this house and the stones were red. So like we said, the Red Rocks. Meet at the Red Rocks in
Meet at the Red
10
Rock. Nice.
So
That's pretty cool,
we always
actually.
say
It's a
we
cool
want to.
concert too.
Yeah.
Concert.
So we always say we want to do something that like ties us all back to that spot because
Yeah,
that
that'd be
was like
really cool.
That's a good idea.
yeah.
really
So
good
it was
idea.
like
That
an
has
everyday.
meaning. That's
yeah.
deep
A
meaning.
really deep meaning.
And that's like the Marines tattoo or whatever. Like if I joined the Marines, I'd definitely get a tattoo
Oh, yeah,
of like
for
the Marine.
sure.
Or if I
Yeah.
joined the Navy, I'd get a tattoo of an anchor. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I I would do like the Air Force thing if I went to the
Yeah.
Air Force or yeah.
Yeah, and like that's something that's like
What are you
significant
thinking
to
about
all three
for
of
it?
us. What do we think about
what
for
are you
it?
gonna get? Because what are you gonna try? Just get
No.
a
Get a
couple
bunch of
rocks?
little dots on your.
Little dots?
It's just red rocks.
No. We thought about like getting like the coordinates of it.
Ooh.
Wow, sweet.
The coordinates
Like
of it.
negative 49.007.
Or like a little like kind of like a bicycle
Oh.
Okay.
because we would always
What-
ride
Ride your
our
bikes,
bikes.
Yeah, yeah. What if
Yeah.
you did like a bicycle and then underneath is the coordinates?
Ooh, that'd be cool. Or like on the bike, like the coordinates on like
yeah.
the body
Or
of the
the
bike.
bike's wheels on the
bike,
coordinates.
Yeah, the bike's wheels on the
Ooh,
coordinates.
that would be a good one. That would be good.
That'd be pretty sweet. I always like when.
Let me
girls
know when
with,
you're gonna get them because
Joe,
I could design them.
Yeah,
Joe and Jenna, if you're listening to this is what we're doing.
do it, absolutely.
We're getting ideas right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think if I got a tattoo, that would probably be the
That would
only
be
one.
one.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
would be, since I am going to be a teacher, it would be somewhere like my students probably couldn't see it, just because.
If I- That's the only problem I have with tattoos is just don't get them in somewhere where you can't cover it.
See, I'm gonna probably finish up my sleeve because I got a half sleeve right here. I'm probably gonna finish up probably like
Before your wrist,
just
bro.
I'm
sure
not
before your
my
wrist.
wrist, just enough so I can like kind of like do this and you can see it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Just like
But-
the bottom end of
Yeah.
it.
If you can cover it, all
yeah,
the power
yeah.
to you.
That-
but when
yes.
you're doing it, when you're getting
On
like,
your hands, on your neck and face.
it's just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that's not my thing.
Like my brother has a couple tattoos.
Does he?
Yeah, he's got like one on his chest and one on his like side.
Side ones hurt, man. I remember because I don't have much
If I was
don't
ever
have
gonna
much
get a
meat back
tattoo,
here.
I would get those Japanese tattoos where they take
like the little dot.
yeah.
Well, that's what Logan DeLong did with mine.
They look cooler.
Great, fucking cool. But his like shading is dots, like little dots. Like
Yeah,
you
they
kinda,
take
like
a needle and they stab you in each of your pores with the ink.
Yeah, it's Logan DeLong's a fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
tattooist. You need to
Good
go
for
to
him.
Yeah,
Dude, he was so good at art.
he is so good at art.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He wasn't.
I love, like-
Well,
he
just
is.
just being a drawing and a creative of himself, like is creative is in his own area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's great at the
he's
shit he
literally
does.
marking people's bodies. Like
And he's
like-
Yeah,
yeah,
has to be
like
damn
his
good.
canvas is someone's body.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That
And
is
it's
crazy.
like, and it's the thing though is like you can't screw that up. Like, like that is going to be on someone's body.
for the rest of their life.
Well, and sometimes I mean you can screw it up, but
mean,
like
you can,
sometimes
but,
the screw
like-
up might actually be good.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, but his are amazing work for sure.
Yeah,
Dude, my biggest thing about tattoos is like, what happens if you get fat or some shit?
And it like stretches
Yeah.
out
Well,
and looks deformed.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not gonna get fat, but
Tell yourself this now.
I'm not. But like when I get old, like people always say, like, what happens when you get like really old and it starts sagging? Like when I'm really that old, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I get that.
dude.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, I remember like Mr. Carr, my history teacher in middle school.
Yeah,
he
dude,
had
yeah.
a tattoo of
Yeah,
an
what
anchor
was-
and shit.
Yeah.
too.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like it was stretched out and shit.
Yeah.
And you couldn't really tell what it was too much.
Well,
Like,
plus his skin
Like,
was
you
so
really-
faded.
Yeah.
At that time.
yeah, you couldn't really tell what it was, but
Yeah, that's
I don't know. But like I said, like if people want to get them, like they think about that. Like they just don't care. Like it's their body. So
And I think if you want to get a tattoo, go get a tattoo. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Why
I have no
even
problem.
ask other like. You shouldn't get a tattoo with the expectations of everyone around you wants you to get a tattoo.
Oh yeah.
or
So you got
everyone
tattooed.
loving it.
Yeah,
like as long
exactly.
as you
Yeah.
like it, who cares?
Dude, that's the weird thing. Is our worldview has become so peer oriented.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you too, like you see all this stuff online, you see everything on social media, and you're like specific, like even girls, like you
Girls,
think
I feel
this,
like it's 10 times worse.
you see all these Instagram models, Instagram influencers.
I always think,
And you
what's going to
see-
happen to those Instagram influencers in 10 years from now? when they're one kid down the
Yeah.
line. And it's just like,
But like little girls see that and they think that's the way that they're supposed
which is odd.
Yeah.
to look, but not everyone's gonna look that way.
No, yeah,
Like, not
most people
everyone's-
won't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
Now, being a girl in like went through high school, was there a lot of like feuds? Like I didn't really.
Was there a lot of feuds?
Yeah, like almost like the
def-
grudges with some. Like,
oh yeah,
people?
definitely. Like I said earlier, like guys, you just hash it out. Like you just hash it out and you move on. Girls are like they hold those judges. They remember what you did 2 months ago on a Friday at 2 p.m.
Fuck that.
Dude, that's a rough
Thank
life.
God I'm a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
but
like I remember so many of the shit I would get into is just be like, dude, what the fuck, man? Why'd you go out and do that?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
There
I don't know. And then it's just like, all right.
was a couple of times I got pissed at Mark, so I punched him, and after that we're like, okay,
Okay.
okay,
yeah, we're good.
got it out. We're good.
We're all right.
Yeah, no, but I definitely think girls they're good at holding grudges.
Oh
They're
yeah.
very good at
Oh,
holding
yeah.
grudges. But
Well, I mean, that's kind of what that's what you kind of view in high school, like Mean Girls deal.
Mean Girls.
Like that's probably created a giant stigma towards girls in high
oh,
school.
yeah.
Every girl wants to watch Mean Girls. Every girl knows what Mean Girl is. I feel like.
Everyone has parts of it memorized
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
For
Like
sure.
you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man. So what kind of drew you to the math and social studies?
I've always loved both of them.
You've always loved
ye-
both of them.
Yeah, like going through school, like I always have been really fascinated with history, and then like math, I was just naturally came to me.
good. Yeah.
So, and and like for middle school, like or middle childhood, you choose 2 concentration areas.
Okay.
So like I could have picked science and language arts. I could have picked science and history. Like you get to pick which 2, and I hate language arts. I am
yeah. fuck
that would absolutely be my last choice.
Yeah.
And then I thought about science, but I just like math and
just like those.
social studies better.
No, is it literally like like those like you have specific classes just for those areas? Like those grades, I mean, like
Yeah,
grades and the
yeah.
high school grades, and then
Yeah. Like we have like
What are the classes like? Are you just retaking like 6th grade math?
yeah.
no. I mean, there's some. There's
I don't know.
it's like say you have Billy who answers the problem this way, but he gets the answer wrong. Why did he get the answer wrong? Like you have to, and like what's a way you could explain it to him that would make sense rather than to someone else that might make sense another way.
See, that's the weird thing to
So it
me is
teaches
how
you all
you can
these-
teach it. How can you teach teachers?
That's what's weird.
That's the
It's
weird
just-
thing because
it's
everyone has their
giving-
own teaching
But
style.
yeah, they have your own teaching style, but it's giving them the resources,
tools
the tools to
basis,
make
almost like
them
basis of the
to help them be successful in the classroom.
okay.
So like a lot of our education classes that we have classroom management, like principles and practices, it's all geared to that like middle school, young adolescent age. So it's like you're dealing with the middle schoolers where their problems are completely different from those in high school or those in elementary school. Because middle schoolers, their sole focus is like they're very egocentric. So like it's when you think everyone's focused on you, like everything's embarrassing, you just want to be
Absolutely.
the cool kid. Like their social aspect is
think
like
with your
their
dick?
whole thought.
Think with your dick.
Their social aspect is like their whole life
Oh,
in it
100%.
at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like dealing with that, and then also while like you're dealing with them going through puberty, like that's no
interesting.
fun.
That's
Oh, yeah.
interesting that they teach you about because that makes complete sense.
You need to teach them because I remember when I was in fucking 7th grade, there was a couple times like I had just like a random boner, and dude, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, dude, I hope the teacher does not call me up. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
I don't know if that's what I was getting to.
see, no, like literally our
It
like.
happens.
Like,
It does, man.
like
Yeah, fuck yeah.
we'll have work. Like our teacher will assign us work, and like I'm not kidding you. Like
The
she'll
teacher
give
will say, "Hey, you got to learn about random boners."
no, she'll give us like in fact, in our class the other day, we did a scenario exactly like you just
Did you
described.
really?
Like
What?
it was like Aaron, he's an 8th grader, he's going through puberty. He gets this pretty girl in class is up at the board, and she sees him when he's walking back to like her desk, and she smiles at him, and he gets a boner, and then the teacher calls on him, and he has to go to the board. And then it's like, and then Aaron refuses. Do you make him go to the board, or do you let him get the option?
I don't. Oh, dude, I don't know.
Fucking
See?
hold
Because
hold that stuff. Hold that stuff up front. Fucking run with it,
It's
bro.
Let
a
it
lot
run.
more than what you
Oh,
think
no,
about.
100%.
It's like
I mean,
all
that-
the
that-
little stuff.
Yeah, but
that's
you
the
learn.
thing,
But
it's the-
that was a teaching experience
Yeah,
to do too,
yeah.
because you learn. Okay, I gotta tuck that shit in the waistband.
Oh yeah, dude, tuck that in the waistband.
Yeah, but what if he goes to the board and he has this giant boner and some kid calls out? Like, you know how embarrassing that is?
Yeah.
Like, that's when the 8th grader just wants to crawl in a hole and, like, not come out.
That's when you
I mean,
tell the
it's
kid that called him out and say, "Hey, "What, you jealous, boy?"
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
No,
kinda,
I
it's kinda
I
like being
understand
cop
what you're
stuff.
saying.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It's kind of like what sort of went through cop. That's awesome that they're doing scenarios like that for you guys. I think
Yeah.
That's
I think it's a
crazy.
really cool.
Yeah,
it's a really
because
cool
it's
thing that you're
actually
doing.
like, that
God,
shit
imagine
happened.
imagine how many of your middle school teachers that were just playing you like a fool.
Oh, I know. They knew.
knew
It's
what
just
you
like,
were doing. Oh no, dude. Oh, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. But I think that's really cool that they're doing scenarios like
Yeah,
that.
or it's like they teach us like have you noticed like middle schoolers like you fidget constantly in your seat?
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
it's because like their coccyx isn't totally fused, so it's very uncomfortable for them to sit normal.
Yeah,
shit, really?
I
Yeah.
read about that a while
did
ago.
not know
Yeah,
about
so
that.
it's
Holy
like
shit, I haven't
very
heard about that in-
uncomfortable for them to just set normal. So that's why they're constantly sitting on their feet. They're constantly moving in their
No
chair
shit,
because
really?
it's not completely fused together. So yeah,
Wow,
and
learn
it
something new
teaches
today, I
you
guess.
stuff like that. Like, what are ways that you can help like your classroom? That's why a lot of teachers they do have like those bean bags, or like they let students sit on the floor sometime just because it makes it more comfortable for them. Like,
They need to just let them run about.
just
just suffer through and figure it out their own way. But no, I don't know.
They need
Yeah.
to have like more field days and shit.
Yeah.
Get
Just to get
students
them
out of their
energy out.
seat.
Yeah.
So they're
That's
not.
the biggest problem. I think it was caused by why people are fidgeting and shit. Like, yeah, that's definitely a reason. But it's probably half of it is just they have so much energy crawling inside them that it's just like, oh, I gotta
That
gotta
was
release
me,
it
man.
somehow. Dude.
I was miserable. I was like always doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, messing with something, fidgeting with something.
Yeah. So it's definitely like they're teaching us stuff to definitely be more like hands on with students, or like get them out of their seat, get them active, like put them in different groups. Like this group moves in this corner for today, whereas the next day they might go to a different corner, like to do their working group. So yeah, it's like
I think
all
it's
like
pretty good.
little things that you don't like
Yeah.
necessarily think about.
Yo, no, now I'm thinking about them after you pointed them out.
Yeah. So we
Well,
learned
that's
about all
awesome.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you have to learn about like kids when they're really small too, just because
Well, like, yeah, because like now
some kids might not be through puberty by the time they
no,
like,
but now there's like girls now are starting like
Puberty really
at like
young.
7 years old.
I was reading about
fucking
that.
7 years
shit,
old,
dude.
like
it's the milk, bro. It's the milk.
well, and it's their diet.
That's what-
and it's
yeah,
like
that's what I
their
mean by the
life-
milk. It's
They're
the
they're
milk.
they're like less active, so that has a huge part in their diet. It makes a huge difference.
I was reading about that, and
Yeah.
it's like not good.
That's not good at
No.
all.
Not
dude.
good.
No,
you can't have a
it's
fucking
like-
7-year-old or 8-year-old fucking being pregnant. That's not good.
Well, no. The
Well, I know,
problem
but,
is
like-
that it's you have one sex that's far more advanced, far more developed than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then those girls
Take
that
adva- you-
develop, they're attracting older guys.
That's my point.
Yeah. So that's where the sticky situations come
Yeah.
in, because you're having these middle school girls attract like these high schoolers, and think about how different your life was in high school and middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how much
1,000%.
more you like were involved in, or you knew, like, or even your language.
But think of the
way you
opposite
talk.
side of
Yeah,
the spectrum. Think about why are dudes doing the same?
Wait, elaborate on that.
Meaning, like,
Why aren't
if
guys
women are
progressing?
entering puberty earlier, why aren't men progressing into puberty earlier
okay.
too?
Yeah, okay.
So there must be something in their diet, at least, that's causing estrogen levels to increase.
And
Well,
but I also think though, guys typically have much faster metabolisms,
Yeah, that's true.
so they aren't like
No, but it wasn't like the milk deal. That was an actual argument. Like there was studies about milk causing increases in estrogen, like
Yeah.
causing increasing of women entering puberty too early.
Well, you said something about like they're not as active, because isn't it like some people like so active like they
don't enter
they
the
don't even
period
end-
until, like-
the high school.
Yeah,
So maybe,
yeah. Like very like say you're a long distance runner or a very avid runner,
yeah.
you're gonna start it later, and they're gonna be lighter when you do. Whereas if you're not an active person,
yeah.
like they're gonna be rough. Like it's gonna be
hips
rough
wide,
for you.
hips
Yes.
wide, and shit like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, so you have these young girls maturing, not really maturing, but like their bodies are changing so drastically at a younger age.
faster than mentally they can.
Oh yeah, and that's real.
And then the girls become very self-conscious, because if you're a middle schooler and you have really big boobs, likelihood like the guys are gonna point those out to you.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Like the guys are gonna be like, oh,
Well,
she
plus,
has
you
big
just don't
boobs.
have very much life experience to be like to have a counter argument to like what someone's saying to you.
Yeah.
Like shit will mean so much more to you.
And
Or-
like
or
and like I
just-
said,
just like-
middle schoolers are so egocentric.
Yeah.
Like that their social aspect is everything to them.
Oh, 100%.
They like if they want approval from everyone, but then at the same time they feel like everyone's staring at them constantly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy for sure how much it's like they're progressing forward.
That's weird. That's odd that you, because I've read about that numerous times. That women
Yeah.
have been, their puberties are entering earlier and earlier and earlier.
What was that? I saw a picture, and it was there's there's a little girl and a little boy, and they're in a I can't fucking think of what it's called now, an airport, and the little boy was sitting there, and the girl was right on top of me. The little boy's hand was on her butt or something. They haven't even hit puberty, dude. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Like when I was that age, they were like really, really young. I was terrified of fucking women, and this little boy is like has this
I
girl
don't know,
on top of him, and
Dude, I was a horn dog when I was a little kid.
well, no, but like these guys.
I remember when I was
these
in
guys
kindergarten.
were-
I was hitting on the fucking cheerleaders in high school. I was spitting fire.
I don't know. Yeah, but like touching him or something like that, I was
Like you
terrified.
still
Like,
thought girls
thinking
had
about it.
cuties. No, you still thought girls had
No.
cuties.
Dude, like really young.
Or you're in
they're-
like middle, like you think holding hands is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like we thought,
Yeah.
like you, and now it's like kids are freaking making out at the age
yeah.
where we were
They're
scared to hold
exposed to
hands.
it
Yeah.
too. Internet has exposed them to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they can go online and see shit that you wouldn't see till you were 16. or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Now you can go on like popular social media sites and see shit that like you would never have saw till your
It's damn. Give them kids phones.
goddamn phones.
Goddamn phones.
We're like boomers now.
Boomers, you damn boomers.
Damn boomers.
Yeah, but so like we learn about all that kind of stuff. So it's some of it's like really interesting, and like there's a couple of us that we actually did a conference in Columbus, like it's called OMLA, Ohio Middle Level Association. So it's just a bunch of middle school teachers from Ohio. We meet in Columbus, and it's just they have speakers and just all these people from all over. But we actually presented. We were like the only college kids to present, and our thing was weird is cool in middle school. So it's
Weird
like
is cool.
weird is cool in middle school. It's like it was 10 things that middle schoolers wish that you knew. So it was like, oh, I called my teacher mom today. I thought I was gonna die. Like I wanted to just crawl in a hole. Like they were so embarrassed. But then at the same time, like we gave the teacher's perspective where we're like, teachers actually think it's like not cute, but like they don't mind it. Like you act like I'm treating you like one of my kids, or
That's a common thing to happen too. Like calling your
teacher mom.
because
Yeah.
they're a nurturing person in your life. Like
yeah. Or like another one we did was about how like everything a teacher says to you, like it matters more than what you think. Say a teacher told you like, oh, you have the hands of a surgeon, like that's gonna stick with you.
Oh, 100%.
Like
I had a teacher when I was in high school that told me I would never be playing at the level I was. And that changed my perspective in the opposite way.
yeah, like it made you want to
It
fight
made
them.
me like say, "Hey, fuck you! I'm going to do this." Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually there was a scenario where this kid, like he was doing dissections in school, and his teacher told him like, "Oh, you have the hands of a surgeon," and not knowingly,
it would seed that idea.
yeah, it seeded the idea in his brain, and not knowingly, he went on to be a surgeon, and he saved this guy. Like did surgery on to save him, and when the guy woke up, he was a brain surgeon. He did surgery on this guy's brain, and when the guy woke up, he told the doctor, he's like, whoever planted that idea or told you that you should be a surgeon, you should really, really thank them. So he ended up realizing like it was because of my high school science
No
teacher.
shit.
So he went back to his high school science teacher and like told him all of this.
Well, I
So
mean,
it's,
that's pretty
it's,
cool.
yeah.
your teachers definitely make an impact
Oh, yeah.
they make an impact on like society as a whole.
Well, think about how like when you were in school, how much more time you spent with your teachers than you
Oh,
did
yeah.
at home with your parents.
Yeah.
Think about that.
A lot.
Like
A lot.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Quite a
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
So
Yeah.
they're very impactful. Yeah. So I'm excited. So
Good.
That's why
good.
everyone
we
wants
need
good
some people-
teachers.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
not just that. It's like you're training the new generation,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird. And, like we're young still, but it's weird to think about that.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm old sometimes. Old and wise, but I'm still young and dumb.
Yo, no shit.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to think towards that because that's the people that are gonna take over from you.
Oh, yeah.
Which is we might be taking it a little early, taking the thoughts a little early, but it's good to have the thoughts.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
good
yeah.
to have thoughts.
Future educator of your future children. Remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Remember that.
Oh, that's a good little saying right there.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out.
You want to call it there?
Yeah.
Got anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah.
No.
No one.
I don't know.
Well,
No.
Heather Heiby, it was a pleasure, and I hope you teach our future kids, well,
How to be badasses.
how to be badass kids.
Well, thank
sure
you
you
guys
will.
for having me.
Yeah, no
it was
problem.
Definitely
Appreciate
Good
it.
time.
a good time.
All right. Peace.
Peace.